All right, good evening and welcome everyone. Can everyone hear me, just to confirm?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. All right. So welcome to today's free webinar or workshop actually. So we're going to be taking All right, so sorry about that. So welcome to everybody should welcome to today's workshop. So today we're going to be learning about becoming a product designer. Thank you everyone for joining so far. So yes, I just want to know how we're feeling about today's class. How do we feel? Feel free to drop an emoji in the comments, in the chat box. So if we're happy, we're thrilled, you can drop this emoji. And if you're curious, you're wondering what this workshop is about to be like, what you're going to learn, what's the benefits, you can drop this in the comment section. So let's just drop that and be interactive. I would like to know how we are feeling about today's workshop. Are we happy? Are we excited? Okay, Joshua is happy. Curious. Sharon. All right. So it's good to know that some are happy, some are excited, some are curious. So for today, the agenda for today is there are going to be introductions. I'm going to introduce myself and as well as your tutor for today, and then we'll dive straight into the workshop. And I'm going to leave the floor for him to teach and educate everyone about what it entails to become a product designer. Then after that, I'm going to just give a brief summary or history about us here at Transition School and just let you know about some other upcoming programs. We have exciting stuff, very, very exciting and interesting stuff coming up. And yeah, then we'll have a question and answer session. If you have any questions, if you have any dilemmas, so just let us know. So jumping straight into the introductions, hello everyone. My name is Aderinsola, and I am the community manager here at Transition School. And your tutor's name is Ayobami Aderemi, and he's a UI UX designer. You'll get to know much more about him when I leave the floor for him, and he'll tell you all about himself and where he works. But for now, let's just get to know ourselves a little bit so we know who we're talking to. Like I said, my name is Darren. My name is Aderinsola. I'm currently tuned in from Nigeria. And what do I do for work? I'm a community manager here at Transition School. And one fun fact about me is I love to read novels. So I like to get to know everyone. So you can just drop it in the comment section in the chat box. Where are you listening from? You can type Nigeria. If you're listening from the UK, wherever, just let me know in the chat box. Let me know where you're listening from. I'd just like to know the audience and who we are currently, where everyone is currently. So you can just drop it in the chat box below. Where are we listening from? What do we do for work? Are we already product designers? Okay. Some people are listening from Nigeria. What do we do for work? Are we product designers already? I'm a community manager, I'm not a product designer. Are you a nurse? Are you what else? Let me see, computer developer. Okay, students, okay. All right, awesome. So we have some people from the UK, we have some people from Nigeria. Awesome. All right. Okay, Lagos. Okay, we have different people listening from everywhere. That's very interesting. So thank you everyone for tuning in. It's nice to know where everybody is currently listening from. You can also let me know what you do for work so that we know if you are just starting out as a product designer or you're already a boss here and just want to get more knowledge. All right, awesome. Thank you everyone for interacting. And I think we'll just dive straight into the workshop because your tutor has a lot to teach and educate us about today. So Arabami, I will leave the floor to you.
All right, Ademisola, thank you very much. Just before I start, please, can we hear me? Am I audible enough? You can put that in the comment section or somebody unmute your mic and respond.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Once again, I'd like to appreciate Ademisola and Transition School. My name is Ayobami Aderemi. Feel free to call me Remy, and I'm a UI UX designer. I've had about 5 years of professional experience transitioning from graphics design into UI UX design. And for a fact, I can tell you that I'm a self-taught designer. So I didn't take any degree from any school. So being on this call, rest assured that you can also make that move. You can also become a UI UX designer, and it doesn't take so much to become one. I've worked for companies across various fields. I've worked for companies in the cloud computing sector. I've worked for media agencies. I've worked for companies that are into digital transformation. My most recent company is Descasio, where we try to provide solutions for businesses. All right. And I mean, outside of design, I love playing games. I watch movies, I listen to good music. And yes, I love football a lot. I would coach kids football, and I'm based in the United Kingdom. Yeah, in case you are wondering. So for people listening from Nigeria, from UK, I'm based in UK, but I'm from Nigeria as well. So I guess we are all one. Yeah, I think that's all for introductions. Moving into the masterclass proper. Just give me a second while I share my screen. And please let me know when you can see my screen. If you can see my screen, please.
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you very much. Becoming a product designer, a UI UX designer, from time to time, people would always ask me what a UI UX designer is. I remember when I started out, I got a couple of friends asking me, what is UI UX? Anytime they ask me what I'm doing and I tell them UI UX design, I'm like, what's that? And then for a period of time, people find it difficult to understand what UI UX is or what even product design is, because there's this misconception about product design and UI UX design in the tech space. So all of that will be resolving in today's masterclass. And then I'm sure if you're on this call, it's because you intend to, actually become a UI UX designer. And then perhaps you joined just to freestyle. Don't worry. Maybe a passion will be better than you by the time we are done. Once again, irrespective of whatever career it is you find yourself, trust me, you can transition. You can become a UI UX designer. So it's not down to what you studied in school or what you did not study. For this particular process, for this particular course, it's very important that you have the right mindset. A lot of times people want to transition because, oh, people have heard there's money in tech. So I want to transition because there's plenty money there. So maybe if I start working in the tech space, I'll start making big money. Yes, there's money in tech, but first things first, is not a quick money scheme. So don't think once you join today, maybe next month, you've started cashing out tens of thousands or millions. No, it doesn't work that way. It comes with a lot of dedication, comes with a lot of work and the right mindset towards UI UX design before you can actually make something out of it. All right. So For today's masterclass, these are like the list of things that we'll be covering. We'll talk about the cost benefits, like benefits of product design, becoming a UI UX designer. We'll talk about what product design is. Like I said, there's a lot of misconception around what product design is. People just merge it together. You hear somebody say, I'm a product designer. Somebody will say, I'm a UI UX designer. And that one will say, I'm a digital designer. And that will say, I'm an interaction designer. What do all these things mean? Peradventure, you've come across them and you're wondering, what is it? If everything shall design. So we'll be, differentiating between all these terms and how they actually fit in together. We'll look at the tools that are being used in UI UX design. We'll look at the fields. Talking about the places that you can work in as a UI UX designer. We'll talk about the different roles in UI UX itself, and then we'll talk about how to land a role. So if you are done with maybe the educational aspect of it, so how do I actually get a job? Because just going through the knowledge aspect of it is not equal to getting a job. There is a how to also land a role. And then finally, in this masterclass, what would quickly do is a quick practical. This is not the course. This is not going to teach you how to become a UX designer. This is just to get you informed about what UI UX design entails. Then if you now want to take that bold step, we can now talk about getting you started with a course to educate you on how to become one. But this is just to get you informed, get you aware about what it entails. All right. So without further ado, let's get cracking. Before I continue, I want to know that you are following along, so you can just leave in the chat section, probably use an emoji, give a reaction, just to be sure I'm not talking to myself. And if I'm too fast, please tell me. Please, you are too fast. Slow down. Okay. All right. So what are the things that you would stand to gain if you were to actually, get into product design or UI UX design, as the case may be? Things that learning the course will do for you. Now, you get development in your skill. The first one is skill development. You get developed. So talking about UI UX design, there's actually a way that you should start viewing the world. I remember when I was going to start out with graphics design, one of the things that made me curious was I would look at flyers, I would look at banners and try to understand the brain behind how it came into being. Like, I know it's a human being that designed this. So what was his thought pattern to designing this particular thing? How did he measure all these colors, all these images to make it come out beautiful? So that curiosity got me to start learning graphics design and then UI UX design eventually. So skill development, you'd be taught how to actually view the world through the lenses of design from a creative standpoint. You'll be learning skill set that pertains to user research, prototyping, UI design, talk about the visual aspect of things, how to put this component in the right place, put this button in the right place. That's one of the things that you'll be getting. So anytime you see interfaces that are out there that look very beautiful and visually appealing, you are not wondering, this thing is looking like magic. You actually get the skill sets to be able to come up with something that creative. You'll be able to, the second one is to kickstart your journey. You'll be able to get enough resources that you require to actually move you from where you are right now, irrespective of the career that you are. Maybe you're a medical doctor, maybe you studied accounting in school and you work as an accountant, maybe you're an engineer, but you want to transition. So irrespective of whatever career you find yourself, the requisite resources and skill sets that you need, you'd get throughout the entire period of this course so that you can begin in design. So talk about career opportunities as well. So after you might have gotten all the resources and the skill that you need, There are career opportunities provided also, places where you can apply to and start a role in UI UX design. Talk about tools proficiency as well. So there are certain tools, we'll get there in detail. There are certain tools that we use as UI UX designers or product designers in carrying out the design work that we do. So you would get proficient in these tools, you get good at using them, and then meet up to industry standard in terms of design. Talk about portfolio enhancements. Now, it's very, very expedient and important for designers to have a portfolio. It's like our CV. It's like our CV. So most of the times, job hunters, people, HRs, and people that are looking to hire designers, what they are looking out for is your portfolio, much more than your CV. Your CV will detail maybe the places that you've worked, but it's the portfolio that would show the design work that you've done over time. Now, portfolio, don't look at it as a big word. It's just maybe a space or platform that shows all the design work that you have done in a summarized form, so to speak. Yeah, that's what it is. And that's what you present to your prospective employers. And then they are able to see the brain behind what you've done, your design mentality and mindset. And that the last one, which is actually very, very, very important, is the user-centered mindset. Now, as we go in this masterclass, I'm very sure I'll touch on it again. For designers, it's very, very important, especially UI UX designers, that the core of every single thing you do is your user that is at that core. In the center of everything you do is your user. You are not designing whatever you are designing for yourself. So no matter how great it looks to you, if your user says, no, I don't want this, then you have to change it. Why? Because you are not designing for yourself. You are designing for the user. They are the ones that would pay to use your product. They are the ones that would derive satisfaction from using your product. So it is very, very key at every point in time when you are designing that the user is the focus. All right, moving on. Now, what is product design? So I was saying earlier that people tend to mix all these terminologies and mix them up together. Somebody tell you I'm a product designer, and somebody tell you I'm a UI UX designer. Now, this simple definition, it describes the process of imagining, creating, and iterating products that solve user problems or address specific needs in a given market. Now, so what product design does is it encompasses all the entire journey of a product, like from the beginning of that product to the end of the product. So when we talk about products can be digital, and as well it can be physical. Now, if I choose my TV set, for example, now there are various TVs out there. There are different brands out there. If you look at your TV set, it's a product, and it is somebody that designed it. So that person that designed that particular TV set is a product designer, but this is a physical product that we are relating to. And now that person that designed that product, the product designer for your TV set, conceptualized this product from the start to the finish point till he actually saw to it that the TV set was released. So he is a product designer. He built that product from the beginning to the end. It was part of the entire journey of that product. Now, for digital products, say so a product like maybe WhatsApp. I mean, I know lots of us use WhatsApp, so it's easier as an example. So the entire product life cycle of WhatsApp, a product designer is involved in the entire journey. So talk about when the idea to create WhatsApp, that is an instant messaging platform, came up. So the product designer would be there during the ideation phase, during the research phase, during the coming up with the conceptualizing the wireframes, prototyping, testing it, taking it back to the user for to get feedback from the users, and then coming back to implement feedback, carrying along all the team members that are very, very important in seeing to it that WhatsApp actually became a product that is used globally. So the product designer is that person that is concerned with every single stage of that particular product. So inside product design, you will now find different breakdown of roles, which brings us to the one that we are focusing on, which is UX, UI design. Now, inherent in product design is UX design, UI design. As you can see on the screen, there are lots of rows under product design. So a UX designer now focuses, now look at a UX designer is now specializing. A product designer, is like a generalist, is involved in everything. But UX design specializes. It focuses on how users feel when they interact with the product. Remember when I spoke about the user mindset earlier, how that it is the user-centered mindset, how that it is the user that is at the center of whatever it is you are designing. So the UX designer is the one that focuses on how will my user feel when they're interacting with this product. So take WhatsApp that we started with, for example. I'm on WhatsApp. There is the chats section, there is the status section, and then there's the section to make calls. I think WhatsApp has even added communities. So the UX designer is concerned about if my user wants to make a call, how do they get to make the call? So they swipe left they swipe left to status, and then they swipe left again to calls. Do they have to swipe, or can I just make them go directly from chats to calls? So if they click on calls, will it just take them directly to calls, or do they have to swipe through status? So a UX designer begins to conceptualize and think about how their users would feel. And it's not just that you will sit down in your house as a UX designer and you say, okay, how will my user feel? And then you start thinking for the user. No, this is where it is important that you go out to carry out research. So a UX designer is involved in the research process of developing a product. So you go out there, you carry out research, try to interview your users and ask them questions. Oh, how would you feel? Would you rather swipe left, go through status updates before getting to calls, or you just want to click from chats straight to calls so that you can make a call on WhatsApp? So that is who a UX designer is involved in that process, in like the theoretical aspect of the design of that digital product. Now, a UI designer focuses on the appeal, like how it appears, the beautiful screens that you can see, the colors, the images, the fonts that you can see. That is the focus of the UI designer. So if that button that you press to upload a status, that button that you press to make that phone call, that button that you press to record a voice note, that is the work of a UI designer. Is concerned about designing elements, designing pages that pertain to that particular product. Now, motion designer, these are other roles, even though our focus is UI UX design. So motion designer talks about the person that would come and design like animations, interactions, or how this thing will move. Motion has to do with movement, yeah? So it talks about movement, how it moves, how that interaction, how the page will swipe left. That movement, will it swipe? Will it slide? Will it push? So that is motion, and it has to do with the work of a motion designer. Now, UX writing, when you visit a website, for example, and you see all the story, the how they wrote all this. So for example, maybe they say something like buy one, get one free on a website. Now, that buy one, get one free, the person that came up with that tag, for example, that's the work of a UX writer. So coming up with very, very catchy content, clear and concise content, like written, it has to do with written, something people can read to enhance the overall user experience. That's UX writing. Now, UX research, like I mentioned earlier, as part of the duties of a UX designer is, how you begin to investigate, conduct interviews into understanding the behaviors of your user, because they are the ones that you are designing for. So for example, now a medical doctor, if you're a medical doctor on this call, if a patient comes to you now and is asking, and is telling you that he's not feeling too well, you begin to ask questions to interrogate as to what is wrong with him. So if you bring that into the space of a UX researcher, that point where you begin to ask questions to understand what is wrong with that patient, that is UX research. But this time around, your patient, in quotes, is your user, the person you are designing for. Now, to engineers are the ones that have to do with code. So, I mean, we might not be talking about engineering so much, but as a UX designer, as a UI designer, you get to work with engineers. So that is why it's important that we are mentioning them on this course. So they are front end, they are back end engineers, and then they are full stack engineers. That once your design is done, they are the ones that will implement the design. So now that I've touched all these rules, I just want to mention that a lot of times you find that in smaller organizations, there's probably that one person that wears all these hats. So one person is the designer, is the UX designer, one person, that same person is the UI designer, that same person is the UX writer, that same person is the US researcher. Sometimes, if the person gets too greedy, it can be the engineer as well. So I know product designers or UX designers that know how to write codes. So they are the ones that would, in fact, you can call people like that the product designers because they are involved in the entire life cycle of that product. But if you work with bigger organizations that have, say, about 1,000 people, for example, Google, or maybe Meta, or maybe Amazon, if you are working in organizations like that, you'll probably be working in teams. So you have to specialize. You now see that they are hiring a UX writer, just somebody that will focus on content. You have no business with designing. Just focus on the content, what will be written, the words that would appear there, all those catchy words, that will be your focus. They will now have a UX research team. All they do in that team is research. They just meet with users, gather insights from the users, and then come and dump it on the table of the UX designer. The UX designer now begins to pile all the insights together and then passes it on to the UI designer based on the recommendations of the UX designer. The UI designer now begins to arrange the interfaces, make the products look beautiful, look very beautiful. So I will give a quick example of UX and UI design before I move on. So you have two pizzerias, for example. You have Domino's Pizza, and then you have maybe Papa John's or Debonias, wherever you may be. Or maybe let's use Pizza Hut. I'm sure a lot of us are familiar with Pizza Hut. So you walk into Domino's Pizza, for example, and then you have to open the door yourself. And then when you sit inside, maybe there's a lot of heat in there. There's no air conditioning. You are sweating. And then somebody walks up to you in a rude manner and then asks you, what do you want? And then from there, you shall order and then you eat. While you are eating, maybe you even find something suspicious inside the food. And then there's Pizza Hut. You walk into Pizza Hut. Before you get to the door, somebody opens the door for you. And then as you enter, you find that the staff of Pizza Hut welcome you with maybe welcome to Pizza Hut, smiling. And then you find your seat. The seat is comfy. And then the air conditioning is good. And then they serve you with a smile. They don't allow you stress. If I'm to ask, you can just type in the comment section. If you were to buy pizza, which pizzeria will you choose? I'm sure most people will choose Pizza Hut. And if I should ask you that, what is the reason behind Pizza Hut? Because of the reception you received, because of your experience with Pizza Hut. Now, even if Domino's Pizza was sweeter than Pizza Hut, there's every tendency that you will prioritize the experience that you had over Domino's. Why? Because you prefer comfortability, you like the experience you got when you entered Pizza Hut as opposed to Domino's. Now, also, in designing a product, if your product looks very, very fantastic, like it's so beautiful, but then your user gets into the product and then maybe it's a calculator. The person wants to add 2 plus 2, and then the person presses 2, and then he's looking for the plus sign. And then he manages, after looking left, turning right, he finds the plus sign. And then he gets into, it's time to do the summation, and he's looking for equal to. It is not even automatic. A lot of times, they will abandon that product and go for something else that works. So a lot of times, it's very, very important that you know that UX is very, very important in the life cycle of a product. Very, very important, because it tends to go into the mind of your users and then understand what their pain points, what their challenges is, so that you can tune your design to solve the problem of the users. All right, quickly. So tools in UI UX design. There are certain tools that we use as UI UX designers in carrying out our duties. And then one of those tools is Figma. Now, Figma is what I use. I use Figma a lot. There are other applications that are as good as Figma, but I use Figma a lot. That's for designing every screen that you see, either web or mobile application. I use Figma. Now, other applications, you can use Adobe XD or Sketch, but the world is fast growing, and then people are dumping Sketch and Adobe XD for Figma. Some people still use Adobe XD. Now, InVision is for prototyping. I mean, if you see how screens move from one screen to the other, that's prototyping. You can use InVision for prototyping. Miro, some people call it Miro. I don't know why they do that, but I call it Miro. Miro is for conceptualizing your thoughts. So when you have thoughts that are maybe all over the place, you can just go on Miro and then pull out sticky notes and then just be putting your thoughts on sticky notes. It's also good for creating your user journey map. I know those terms sound very big right now, but when you get into the course, all of these things will be broken down. Webflow. Now, Webflow is if you build a website, when you are done with designing a website, if you now need a place to host that website and make it go live, you can use Webflow. Why? Because your design on Figma at its best is a design. It doesn't work, so to speak. So people can interact. Yeah, they can carry out certain interactions on it, but it's not live. Like you can't visit the website, so to say, or use the mobile application, so to say. So until you add codes to it and make it come alive, and Webflow can easily do that for you without having to write any line of codes. Now, as beginners in UI UX design, if you are looking for places where you can practice, there's Daily UI, there's Good Brief, there's Fake Clients and UX Tools. All these platforms will give you they'll give you challenges to complete, give you activities to complete that would actually sharpen your skills as a designer. You can use these platforms to practice. For collaboration, now, collaboration is very, very important in UX design. You can't do it all alone. You obviously always need people. So to meet with community of designers, you can use UX Mastery, Design Hangout, ADP List, and Tech Fleet. I mean, there are more, but like these are like the top ones that I am familiar with, and then people that I know that are designers as well also use. Now, for hosting portfolios, it's very, very important. Like I mentioned earlier, your portfolio is like your CV as a designer. So if you are going to treat all your designs that you've created, for example, maybe you've designed one mobile application, you've designed one website. If you now want to bring all the things that you have designed together and put on a particular platform where recruiters, maybe a company wants to hire you and they ask, where's your portfolio? You can just copy the link and then just send it to them. So these are platforms you can use. There's Behance. Behance, it takes you nothing. Just sign up. They don't charge anything. There's Dribble, there's Notion, and there's Framer. I'm not sure about Framer. I think Framer is you probably have to pay some amount of money to use their services in full. But these first three, Behance, Dribble, and Notion, you don't need to pay, it's free. And then you can easily use them to create your online portfolio. Now for freelancing, freelancing is, when we talk about freelancing, it means you don't want to work for any organization. You want to be doing jobs for different companies. So maybe Amazon calls you today, Google calls you tomorrow, Meta calls you next tomorrow, and then we are working on projects for them as your own person. So you are not an employee of Amazon. You are just carrying out a project for them. So things like that, there are stuff like that in design. You can freelance and then you just charge people a certain amount to quickly design something for them. So these are platforms that you can actually use to freelance. Fiverr, I'm sure a couple of us probably know about Fiverr and Upwork, because it's not only for designers too. Whatever skill it is that you think you have that can be of benefit to people, you can always sign up on Fiverr, Upwork, and then you can find clients, people that require your services. LinkedIn too is actually very important, very, very important. Talk about your LinkedIn profile. If you are going to function as a designer, you have to create a very, very steady LinkedIn profile such that recruiters will begin to reach out to you. A lot of times I find maybe I just wake up and I see that you can tell me you appeared in 15 searches today, or maybe 10 people viewed your profile today, or this and that. So a lot of times recruiters have reached out to me just by viewing my profile on LinkedIn. So it's very, very important for designers, and actually anybody that is in the job market, as it were. LinkedIn is very important. So freelancer.com is another platform where you can get started. Now, fields you can work in as a UI UX designer. At the beginning of this call, I mentioned how that I'd work in different sectors, even as a UX designer. See, it's very important to know that as a UX designer, you are not restricted to any field at all. You know, when I started out in UX design, I used to think, oh, it's only maybe companies that have one digital products, maybe like WhatsApp, that's where you can work. No. I once saw a job vacancy for a solar energy organization. So what they do in that organization is they deal with solar energy, and they were looking for a UI UX designer. So it got me thinking. I did some research and I discovered that UI UX designers work across every field. UI UX designers work in hospitals. UI UX designers work in they work in courts, like courts where they try people and all those things. As long as technology works there, a UX designer, a UI UX designer is needed. Agricultural sector, there's UI UX designer. Finance, a lot of us are familiar with fintech products. There's a UI UX designer. Education, now, education is like the one that is for me, I think education is still like the most. There are a lot of UI UX designers in education designing applications that are very, very intuitive to facilitate education. I mean, in the course of my job search, when I first moved into the United Kingdom, I found out that there are even, I've seen a vacancy for a flower shop. So horticulture, talk about horticulture as it were. They are looking for a designer to design a platform that can help them sell or actually market or teach people about flowers. I saw one for art. So all those designs, people like Picasso that they draw and then they paint and stuff, they wanted a designer to design something for that space too. So as a UI UX designer, you need to think wide, think big. You are not restricted to any field at all. You are not. I've seen a UI UX designer that works in hospital. Like they literally want him to design applications that could help to mitigate the conversations between doctors and their patients. So you don't have to rush into work, for example, and say you can easily reach your doctor on a particular application. So for you as a UI UX designer to work in that space, you need to be knowledgeable about the health sector. I've seen people that work for organizations that are focused on people or persons living with disabilities. So different sectors like that, you are not restricted. And top companies are always hiring. Talk about companies like Google, Amazon, Meta, eBay. Funny enough, I think Meta is still even hiring across the globe. So there are lots of organizations that you can work in as a UI UX designer. You are not restricted at all. And then I was reading a stat that said that in the next 3 to 5 years, that there'll be a massive increase in demand for UI UX designers. About 25,000 UI UX designers will be needed. It's projected that will be needed in the next 3 to 5 years. Why? Because technology is constantly advancing, constantly. Very, very important. Now, one thing that I forgot to mention, talking about tools, a lot of times people will say that, oh, AI is here, AI will take the jobs of people. And well, me, I always tell them that it's people that don't know their jobs that AI would take their jobs from. AI is like a very, very good tool that a UI UX designer should use or should know how to use and leverage. So talk about ChatGPT. I mean, it's not like you now depend solely on AI and leave your instincts as a designer. No, but certain things that can help speed up your design process, AI actually strategically positions for that. So ChatGPT can help you with wordings, anything that requires text. So your UX writing, your ChatGPT can help you out. And then you can also fine-tune whatever ChatGPT is telling you. So you don't take it hook, line, and sinker and then just dump on your space. No, you fine-tune. But it has helped you put the words together. There is this AI called Jasper AI or Midjourney, for example. You can use that to also create mock-ups that help you as a designer, and then you can begin to fine tune. So you can use technology to your advantage. Never be part of the people that will tell you that, oh, AI has come, technology has come, and then you'll be out of job. No, I just told you now that there is a projection that about 25,000 designers will be needed across the globe in the next 3 to 5 years. So it's very important that you have the right mindset. Now, how to land the role? I mean, I have technically touched this during the course. So talk about educational foundation. Obviously, if you're a medical doctor, I don't know why I keep using medical doctor on this call. So if you're a medical doctor, for example, you can't say without knowledge, you can't say I just want to go and start designing. No, you need knowledge. It's very important. You need knowledge to get started as a UI UX designer. I'm sure when you were going to become a medical doctor, you didn't just wake up one day and say, yes, I'm a medical doctor now. You had to pass through stages of learning for you to get to where you are, obtain certifications and stuff. So also it's important as a UX designer, you have to go through that particular process of learning, receive training. There are courses to be taken. For example, Transition School is going to be offering a course in product design or UI UX design. So you can get started with something like that, and then it would be very, very, very beneficial to you. And then from taking that course, you can begin to intern. At the end of this course, I'll try to quickly tell you a little bit about how I started product design. So build a strong portfolio. Very, very important. Very, very important. Now, see, as a UX designer, you can be very good in terms of what you do. But if you don't have a portfolio that can adequately explain your thought process to your recruiter, trust me, you won't get into the room a lot of the times. Just as you will send CV to recruiter. So you're a medical doctor now, you are looking to get a job. Let me change. Let me not use medical doctor. So maybe you are an accountant. Yeah, you are looking to get a job in Deloitte or maybe KPMG, for example. KPMG, and maybe you were working with, say, EY before. Now, EY, by the time you're applying to KPMG does not know your day-to-day activities when you were at EY. They don't know the things that you did there. So before they can invite you to the point where they begin to ask you about the things that you did at EY, the first thing they will come in contact with is your CV. So your CV gives them like a summary of all you've done at EY and wherever else you've worked. And then they can invite you to the room before you now use your own mouth to, detail the things that you have actually done. So also your portfolio, very, very important as a designer. Is your portfolio that will get you into the room. They will ask you for portfolio, you show it to them. Oh, they see your design process. They're like, this guy is good. Let's invite him for an interview. So very, very important. It contains your projects or your design projects, and it helps. So gain practical experience. Yeah. So you can, as beginners, one of the things that you'll be looking forward to doing is getting internships. I intend to when I was going to start out. So look for companies that are willing to get you or to give you internships where you can learn, because gaining understanding, going through a school is not the same thing as having a practical experience. So not the same thing. They are very, very different. So because, going through school, studying accounting is not the same thing as actually getting a job as an accountant and then going through the experience. They are always different most of the time. So you need experience to get started and get better as a designer. Now talk about networking in industry. Yes, very, very important. As designers, You can't do it all alone. Like I said, you are not an island of yourself. You need to meet other designers, and there are conferences, there are platforms, like I shared earlier, that you can use to meet with other people. And then in meeting other people, you can discover opportunities, job opportunities. I've gotten jobs as a designer from meeting people. So it's very, very important. And the last one, like, stay updated, always learn, because the technology is always advancing. There's always a new tool that can help assist your design process. There's always a new regulation for designers. There's always a new addition. So as technology keeps advancing, you too need to keep advancing your knowledge. And then you begin to apply for jobs. So you apply for jobs through these platforms that I listed here. So especially for beginners, you can use AngelList and Well-Found. So angellist.com, wellfound.com. For beginners and intermediate roles, Indeed, Read, Total Jobs. I mean, these are for people that are based in the UK mostly. But AngelList and Well-Found, I think it's like remote across the globe. So very, very important you apply for jobs. Now, one that is not listed here that I would also share is cold mails. They work. So remember I was saying how important your LinkedIn is. If your LinkedIn profile is well set up, you can begin to gather emails of top people in organizations. So look for an organization on LinkedIn. Maybe look for the head of design, or maybe the product designer or product manager in that organization, and then construct a very beautiful mail and send. So now I'll be very honest with you. I'm not saying it works 100% of the time, but if you highlight 10 companies, if you send to 10 companies, I'm very sure that at least one will reach out to you and say, okay, internship, you can join us. And if your portfolio is strong enough for them to have you join them, why not? They bring you on board. So if 10 is not a very good benchmark for you, you can do 20. So 1 out of 20 will surely respond for internships. Let them know you are not after the money just yet. Get the experience. Work in a formal setting. Gather the experience, and then you can forge ahead. So we'll just be doing quickly a bit of practical, just to, so to say, whet your appetite when it comes to design. Give me a sec. Yeah. So I'll try to finish this. Hopefully I can in like 10 minutes. Just this page. Now, one thing I always tell people is, as designers, now this is as designers, don't look at design as something complex. If you look at it as something complex, then it will be complex to you. I started viewing design as colors, images, words, shapes. Those 4 things. That's how I view design. I'm just like, this thing, the way I'm looking at it is colors, shapes, images, words. So, for example, if you look at this now, this is a shape or an icon. You can just use your pencil to draw zigzag. Now, this is what Figma looks like, by the way. Sorry, I did not mention that earlier. Give me a sec. Let me try to get this closed. Yeah. So this is Figma. This is what Figma looks like. This is a screen that I have designed for, like,
am I the only one that can't see your screen? I think we're still seeing the PowerPoint presentation.
Give me a sec. Let me share. Yeah, I think I see that. Yeah. So you should be able to see now.
Yes, we can.
Yeah. So like I was saying earlier, shapes, words, images, colors. If you can look at this now, that is all that is in this frame that you are seeing. This is what Figma looks like, basically. Because of time, I would have loved to introduce you to what the all the things that you can see, the tools on Figma, but because of time, I can't do that. Would spend much time on that. So if I'm to recreate this now, it's pretty much simple. Like I said, So if you begin to view design as a combination of shapes, images, words, then design will look very, very easy to you. Why? Because you know that all you have to do is combine a shape with a word, with a color, choose the right color, choose the right weight. That's all. So for example, now we have a blank screen. First things first, if you can see, the easiest thing to do here, talk about the words. I come here, I choose my text tool, I write bikes and accessories. I really hope I'll be able to finish this because time is not on our side, but anywhere I get to stop, just know that it is very, very easy. So I've written bike and accessories. I increase the size. Make it bigger. So let's say 24. This one is fatter. I come to the weight. You can choose. So for some of us that are familiar with Microsoft Word, these are basic things that you can do on Microsoft Word. A text, increase, make it bold, choose fonts, basically. So this is bikes, and it has a black color, which is what I want. Then these are texts underneath it. I pick my text tool up here again. I write 12 Heritage Way. Osborne, Lagos. So pardon any errors because of time. But this one is not looking like this. To make it look like this, what do? This one is smaller. So I come here again to the size, reduce it, make it very small. So this. What else? This is fatter than this. I come here, reduce the weight. Okay, now they are looking more like each other. What's missing again? The colors are different. So what I can do is come here, because of time, copy the color for this. And then I quickly paste the color here. And then yes, it's looking like it. So what else do I need here? I come, look at this. This is a rectangle housing this particular image. I come up here. This is my rectangle too. I pick it. I draw a rectangle. It's that easy. I draw a rectangle. Just to look at this. I draw a rectangle. Now, the corners of my rectangle, they are looking bent. I come here. I bend it too. You can see that it is bending. Now, because of time, I'll just quickly pick the image from here. But you can download image from now, pexels.com, pixabay.com, go on Google. You can find images of bicycle. Now, I remove this, I put it here. And then it's already looking like it, little by little. This color is a bit different. Now, another way to copy colors on Figma is to do this. This is eyedropper tool. And then I do this. Now it's looking like it already. So basically, because of time, I would not be able to, run through everything, design everything fully, so as not to take our time. But this is like a picture of what you can achieve using Figma. If I quickly run you through some of the things that I have done, just so this is a sports platform. Let me see. Oh, this is one of the big projects that I worked on for my company. You can see lots of pages there. Let me see. This is a feature that I designed for WhatsApp. In my spare time, I decided to do that for WhatsApp. Yeah, quickly. And all these things were designed in Figma. All with Figma. Oh, why is this taking forever to load? Yeah, so as you can see, these are all design pages, as small as it is. And then let me try to show you something that looks funny. No, not this. Yeah, this. neomorphic design. So you are wondering, I also did this with Figma. You're wondering how this looks. You can play around with gradients, play around with colors. I did this with Figma. This is like a music player, like something like Spotify or maybe YouTube Music. I did this in Figma. And then one last thing I want to show you. I call this Call of Duty. So you can also design a game interface. I designed this game interface in Figma, all with Figma. So these are things that are very, very doable on Figma. They are very, very doable for a designer. And like I was saying, yeah, I forgot to mention, another field a designer can work. If you are somebody that plays games here a lot, all those games that you play, it's a UI, UX or product designer that worked on them. So perhaps you are wondering how to, a UI, UX designer designs games. Like I just showed you, I designed that game screen in Figma. I designed it. So it's not something that is rocket science or something that takes the world or something big to do. Basically, it's very easy if you understand the principles that are guiding UI UX design. And yeah, so that brings me to the end of my presentation for you guys. I hope you guys learned something. I hope your interest in UI UX design has been piqued, and then I hope I would see you soon in product design class. Thank you very much, guys.
All right. Thank you so much, Ayobami. We really appreciate.
Yeah. So
All right.
before I go, in case anybody has maybe like we'll just take
questions.
One.
Yeah, so they can be coming up with questions. You can type it out, or if you want to say it, you can maybe write it out. In the meantime, I would be just talking about transition school and some other exciting stuff that are going to be happening. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat box, or if you want to, maybe it's more you prefer to explain your question, you can just be coming up with it in the meantime. So about us here at Transition School, yeah. So basically at Transition School, we are trying to bridge the gap between you acquiring tech skills and you being able to secure a job or a meaningful employment. We cater to all forms and all types of people, students, if you're already a parent, mom or dad, if you already have a job, you're trying to transition from one form of, like Ibami has been saying in the class, from a medical doctor to someone in tech, all forms and all types of people. We are basically trying to cater to every single person, whatever age, whatever class that you come from. And yeah, so our classes are 100% practical, so they are live. So something like what just happened in today's workshop, you get to have a live class with your tutor, and he would basically teach and explain everything that you need to know. There will be projects, so there will be assignments, projects that you can get to work on, so that at the end of your whole learning process, you would have come up with like a portfolio or visible evidences that you can use to even apply for jobs later on. And a whole lot of other more benefits. You get a certificate, you get one-on-one mentorship, you get access to your tutor. The classes are also recorded, so even if you are not available at that point in time, you can listen back and watch and catch up on the classes. So there are a whole lot of benefits to learning from us here at Transition School. So you can follow us on all our social media platforms. On Instagram, we are at Transition School. On Twitter, Transition School, but it's slightly different spelling. And LinkedIn as well, Transition School, and for Facebook as well. I will drop the what's it called? The different handles or the different like links, so it will be a lot easier. Then we also have a active sorry for the lack of words, for a community, actually. Sorry, I lost the words there. So we have an active community here at Transition School, both on WhatsApp and on Slack. So there on the community, that's where we share a lot of exciting information. That's where you get first-hand knowledge and first-hand information on the different classes. For this workshop, I post almost every other day about different things. So you get first-hand knowledge. So if you would like to join our community to just get first-hand knowledge, I would also drop the links to that in the chat below. So you get access to all important information ASAP before we even share it to the public on social media and other platforms as well. So yes, we have exciting upcoming programs here at Transition School. So first of all, tomorrow we would be having a non-code website development. Today is the last day. So if you would be interested in joining this, you can just let me know. Okay, so someone's asking for the WhatsApp. I'm going to drop that now in the chat box. I'm so sorry. One moment. So like as I was saying, that we have a non-code website development happening. Happening tomorrow. It's going to start tomorrow, and today is the last day for you to register. So feel free to register. Sharon, I've dropped the WhatsApp link as well, so you can feel free to join that. And yes, so it's be starting tomorrow. It promises to be exciting. It's going to be interesting. If you are interested in joining, by the time you join the WhatsApp community, you can send a chat there to me, and I'll be able to get you loaded or onboarded on the non-code website development. And as well, we would also be starting. So this product design workshop that I've just had is just a sneak peek into the actual course that we're going to be starting on December the 8th. So it's going to be amazing. It's going to be interesting. The initial amount for the course is £399, but we're having a Christmas, a December sales, a winter sales of 50% discount. So it goes for £199 instead. And that's the discount code here. If you want to register for that, I will drop the link in the comment section in the chat box right now. And it's going to be interesting. It's going to be, if you totally enjoyed today's class with Ayobami, it's going to be more detailed. It's going to be more interactive. You get to ask questions. It's going to take you step by step on how to design those amazing Figma slides that you just saw. He'll take you through all of that. You get to work on a project. You get to work on different things, and you get to learn with the community of a whole other people as well that are also going to be learning. So it's not just going to be you alone. You have other people as well who are also going to hop on the program as well, and you're going to be learning with them. So yes, if you're interested in joining, please follow the link. I dropped the link so you can make payments, and you can also join the WhatsApp community as well to chat with me to find out more information about that as well. So yes, upcoming events. Other than today's workshop, we are going to be having a Twitter space on the 24th of November. That's next week, Saturday, if I am correct. So 24th of November, we're going to be having a Twitter space by 6 p.m. And the topic for there is, do you need a portfolio to get your first job in tech? So I know Ayobami talked a little bit about that and the importance of that, but we're also going to be diving very well into that. And if you need a portfolio to actually join or to actually land your first job in tech, why can't you just use your CV alone? All these questions you can bring to the Twitter space. So you can just head on to our Twitter to set a reminder and register for that. And on the 26th of November as well, we'll also be having a Zoom webinar on how to land your first remote job. So all of this exciting information, like I said, most information is going to be shared on our WhatsApp community. So you can join that to get information about that, and also follow us on social media as well. So let's head on to the question and answer. Does anyone have any question? Let me see if anybody dropped any question in the chat. Okay, someone was asking when is the next class. So this is actually a workshop. So just to like educate and let us know what the class is going to be about. The class is starting, like I mentioned, the class is going to start on the 8th of December. Yes, that's when we're going to start proper classes. This was just like a webinar / workshop kind of thing to just get people to know about us and get to know about product design. And if you'll be interested in learning from us, if you enjoy today's class as well. So if you're interested, join the WhatsApp community and let me know. Someone is asking, can I get his number for mentorship? Ayobami, they're asking if they can get your number for mentorship. I don't know how possible that would be.
So one of the things that is that the course that we intend to do covers is mentorship. So
Yes.
if you can sign up
Yes.
for the
So,
course, that'll be good.
so if you sign up, you get a whole
My number
lot of
costs more.
benefits. Yes, you get a whole lot of benefits if you sign up for the course. You get mentorship, you get his number, you get to chat and disturb him every other day. So you can sign up for the course. You can just follow us on social media and also join our community so to get more information about the course that will be starting as well. So does anyone have any other question? I think I've gone through most of the questions in the chat. Does anyone have any question they want to? You can just raise your hand if you want to unmute your mic. Is there a 50% slash for full stack? We actually haven't advertised about full stack yet, but if there would be, like I said, just follow us on our community and we'll let you know about any information about that. But for now, the 50% slash is on the product design course that will be happening. It's like a December sales. That's what will be happening. Okay, I think you're asking about the non-code. We actually have the discount offer for the community is actually 150. So as well, that's a huge discount as well. Does anyone have any other questions? If you have a more direct question and you want to unmute your mic, you can let me know. Okay, so in the absence of none, would like to actually get your feedback on today's workshop. If you enjoyed what the interaction we just had. So I'm going to drop a link right now in the chat box. So you can just follow that link and we would love to hear your feedback. Visit the link that I just sent in the chat box now. Drop your feedback. Did you enjoy today's class? I think let me just ask again, how are we feeling? We did this at the beginning of the class. If you joined late, how are we feeling? All those that were kind of curious, are you excited? Are you thrilled now? Would you like to learn more from us? So we'd also like your feedback. You can follow the link. Let us know what we can work on, if you enjoyed today's class. Okay, you enjoyed today's lecture, very motivating. Awesome. Yeah, so just let us know. You can follow the feedback link and just let us know what you think about today's session. And yes, thank you everyone for joining, for taking our time, because we know today is a Saturday and this is the evening. For taking our time to join. We have, like I said, we have a lot of upcoming events and would love to see you there as well. Thank you so much to Ayobami as well. It was an excellent workshop. I also learned a lot as well, and I'm sure everyone learned as well. So thank you everyone for joining. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.